Hi guys, welcome back to Lost in My Library. My name is Kate. Today I am doing my August wrap up. I actually did a decent job this month. Y'all, listen. I read 6 books this month. 6 books. Most of them were arcs, but I read a lot of books. For the first time in like a few months. I'm very excited about this. Only one of them was not an arc. And I'm pretty happy about it. So I read a total of 2,104 pages divided by 31 brings my average page count per day to 67 pages roughly. So, let's talk about my diversity. I for LGBT rep, I started reading a book and I classified, which it does have LGBT rep, but I didn't finish it in this month. I don't even think I'm going to finish it this month. But I have read one book this month that had both a lesbian couple and a gay couple in it. And it actually ended up being, I think, my highest rated book of the month. I gave it 5 stars. Yeah, it was my highest rated book of the month. They were side characters. They weren't the main character. Maybe you could classify our main character as asexual, but because she didn't really have any attraction, but that's not for me to decide. So, POC rep. I read 3 books with that are the authors are people of color. So, All the Tommies in the World is written by an Argentinian author. Argentinian German, I think, is what he's classified as when I looked him up. And then Beloved, which is by Toni Morrison, I read, and she's African American. And then When Things Get Dark has a story by a Malaysian author. That's a short story collection, if you didn't know. So, I read mainly women this month, with one being a multiple authors. I read 2 books by men, so 3 books by women, 1 multiple authors, so can't really count. What I found interesting is that I read books from people of other countries. Now I'm looking at that, and it's now interesting to see what countries that I'm reading from. So, an Argentinian German. I have an American, obviously American Canadian. I had an Australian author this time around. So this was very interesting to see where everybody is from. So let's get to it. I will not talk about most of these books because either I have a review out or a review is coming for that book, because as I said, 5 of the books that I read this month were arcs, and all my arcs get dedicated reviews to them. So 2 of which I have not filmed a video for, but they come out in September, so we are good. They're the end of September at that as well. So let's talk about the books I read. First book I finished was All the Tommies in the World by Javier Gabinski. So this is a book, a zombie book. I read actually mainly horror this month, with one magical realism and 1 science fiction. So wow. So I read 4 horror novels, short story collection. The short story collection is included there. Magical realism, science fiction. And the science fiction can kind of go hand in hand with the horror as well. Actually, the magical realism too has it's eerie. been a horror-filled month, apparently. It's been a horror-filled month. But the magical realism is more magical realism, historical fiction, more than anything. But it does have some horror aspects to it. So, and then the science fiction is about a pandemic. So, anyways, I'm getting off track. So, all the Tommies in the world. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. Did I end up giving this one 3 stars? No, I ended up giving 2 stars. Okay, so what I didn't like about this book was it was all over the place. We did not stay in one place for very long. And there was a lot of concepts that were being thrown around and a lot of things going on, but yet none of that was fulfilled by the end of the novel. I didn't think. None of that was fulfilled by the end of the novel. Characters were weird. The YouTuber thing that's in the blurb is only like a few chapters in the beginning, and then it's just dropped from the rest of the novel. And there was some really cool ideas about the psychic. This guy who could, he like cut off the heads of zombies, and they were like his army basically, and he had a pack of dogs, and that was cool. And then there was so much interesting concepts, but none of that was carried out to fruition. So much was happening, so much that I didn't care about, yeah. My whole review explains everything that was going on in that book. It was very confusing. There was a lot of concepts. I don't think any of them were fulfilled to a satisfying point at the end. I'm still confused by everything by the end of it. So, moving on. Then I read Skin Deep, which is a horror novella that is part of a series of horror novellas. Okay, come on. Hello, we're back. My computer is what is keeping the lights on. I'm so professional. I know. Okay, Skin Deep is about a girl who I ended up giving this 2 stars as well. I did not have a good start to my month. Actually, really, the last book I read in July was also 2 stars. So, like, I did not have a good start to this month, especially with all the Tommies in the world being a fairly long book. Anyways, Skin Deep. So Skin Deep is about a girl who her mother sells her soul basically when she's really young, and now she wants to die young, but she's murdering all these guys because she likes it and she doesn't have a soul basically. None of the characters are likable. This is not, like, I thought this was set in the 80s, because when I was looking at what the series is about, it's all kind of like 80s style horror, so I was like, oh, okay, this might be set in the 80s. No, it's set in 2021, it's sexist, and it's just... I did not like it. I did not like this one at all. It was short, thank goodness. There were some interesting concepts there, but since it was a short novella, I feel like it didn't satisfy anything in the novel. So 2 stars. Moving on, we have Beloved, which I ended up giving 4 stars. This is where everything went up from here. Thank goodness, everything went up from here. So I ended up giving Beloved 4 stars. As you all know, I'm a big fan of Toni Morrison. I wanted to reread Beloved. This is about a family who has gone through a lot of hardships. It's not an easy novel to read, nor is it an easy novel to actually, like, wrap your head around, because there's a lot of things going on in it. And maybe I understand it more because I did take a class and we read it in class, so I may understand it more because of that. It's not very easy to wrap your head around Beloved. There's a lot of things going on. It's basically about this family set after the Civil War. Is it after? Well, they're freed slaves. At the beginning, well, in the story, they're freed slaves that live in the North, and there is a haunting presence in their house named Beloved, and it's a story of family and the effects of slavery on people and what people do in those kind of situations. I think Beloved and Mercy are both really interesting novels to read side by side, because Beloved is about a mother and the lengths the mother has done to her children and why she's doing what she's done. And A Mercy is about a daughter and the daughter living with the repercussions of what her mother did, and why her mother did what she did. I think they're both very interesting books to look at side by side. Maybe one day I'll make a video about that, of Mercy versus Beloved and the concepts of motherhood discussed in both of them. I think that could be an interesting topic. But again, I love it. I love Beloved. Characters are understandable. You understand where they're coming from in the novel. I think they're likable for the most part, so it's just kind of hard to wrap your mind around some of the concepts. And then I read When Things Get Dark, stories inspired by Shirley Jackson. I have not ever read a book by Shirley Jackson. I need to read The Haunting of Hill House. I read the short story collection because I was sent an ARC of it, and I found it very interesting, and I think I have a okay understanding of what the books about her methodology of the books. Some of my favorite books, stories were The Hag. The last story, the Skinner something. I don't have the stories pulled up, so I'm not sure. I'm blanking on all names. But I mentioned all the books, the stories that I really, really enjoyed in the review I did for it. So go check that out. Multiple authors, some of them which you heard. Stephen Graham Jones was in there. Paul Tremblay was in there. Shauna McGuire was in there. A lot of them I didn't know. And the stories I liked were actually authors that I hadn't heard of. So now it makes me want to go check these authors out. I think this is a solid read. I gave it 4 stars. It's kind of hard to rate a short story collection, so I rated it based on my enjoyment of the book as a whole. So then I read Pandemic Patient Zero. I haven't made a review for this, but it's coming out soon. So this is about another pandemic set after COVID, where this group of people that are set in Lyon, France, they come to Peru, where a new virus has started. I found this book very interesting, seeing like a post-pandemic kind of world, post-COVID world, hopefully. And there's some good representation. I think there was different people of different backgrounds. They all had different roles in the novel, and I found that very refreshing to see different personalities, different ethnicities of people, and just what's going on during the whole novel. I think everybody brought something to the table, but the 2 main characters I really, really enjoyed. Helen, who is our main character, and I am Bodhi, Dr. Bodhi, I believe is his name. They really carried the book, and I really enjoyed them. I think it's going to be part of a series, so I'm curious to see how the rest of the series is going to be, because this is based off of Pandemic the game. Only the first beginning, because they were traveling a lot in the first part of their book, and I was like, oh, okay, this like feels like you're playing Pandemic. And then they stayed in one spot after a while. I was like, okay, it doesn't really feel like Pandemic the game anymore. But in that, realistically, this is probably what would actually happen in the real world versus what you do in Pandemic, the game, where you're constantly, like, going everywhere. You probably won't be, like, bouncing everywhere in the real world when you are in the middle of a pandemic. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know what scientists do. But this is a nice look at what scientists might do, what they may be doing in terms of the pandemic, and figuring out what viruses, where they came from, and how you fight the virus. The book, it does end in a very nice even, like, nice little bow, but it was a feel-good novel. I gave it 4 stars. And to end my review, my wrap-up, was The Liar of Red Valley. This ended up being my favorite book of the month. I ended up giving 5 stars. It's such a good book. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Liar of Red Valley is about this girl. Her name is... Oh my goodness, I am blanking on her name. Oh no, that's not good. So, her mother was what is called a liar. And they live in Red Valley. And so, people come to her and they tell them a lie that they want to be true. Her name's Sadie, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Sadie. Why did I just blank on her name? I'm pretty sure it's Sadie. It is Sadie. Okay. I should have gone with my gut and not look stupid. Okay. Her name's Sadie. Her mother was a liar. Her mother dies at the very, very beginning of the novel. And she becomes the liar of Red Valley. And she gets this power to make people's lies true. And she finds out the biggest lie of them all while looking at not just her mother's book, because she keeps all of these lies in her books. Not just looking at her mother's book, but looking at her family, her mother, her mother's mother, their mother's mother, their mother's mother. Like, it's been going on for a really long time. And so the king is somebody that is this omniscient presence in the valley. He protects the valley. There are demons. There are weird creatures out. There's these godlike omniscient beings in the book. I would like to see books about the side characters in this novel. Especially the gay couple I mentioned earlier, the Greys. I think it'd be so interesting to have a whole story book about them. Not necessarily a book about Sadie. I think Sadie's story has ended, but maybe a prequel with the Greys and their story, I think would be super interesting, and I would love to read it. I actually bought this book because there's a twist in there. I was just like, I was like, wait a second. Wait. Like, how does this work anymore? I'm so confused. I'm like, oh my gosh. It just threw me for a loop. And what? Okay. I really liked it. I thought it was well done. The twist that came, and oh my goodness. Top tier. I actually bought this book. It has not come in the mail yet because it doesn't come out until September 28th. I was correct. 28th. Pandemic also comes out on September 28th. Stories Into the Dark. Stories inspired by When Things Get Dark and Stories Inspired by Shirley Jackson comes out on the 21st, the week before. So, If you liked any of these books, go buy them. Go. You can still buy them. Do it. So, Skin Deep came out on August 19th. All the Tommies in the World came out on the 17th. So, you can still go buy them. You can still go buy them. I recommend it if you would like. If you heard anything that might be interesting to you. Maybe not so much All the Tommies in the World and Skin Deep, but maybe you have different tastes than me. And that's okay. I can live with that. I can live with that. Now, if you said Legacy, we might have a problem. Because, got no on that one. That's a big no for me. So, currently, what I am reading Furthermore by Tiara Mafi. I'm still finishing that. I've been reading that for like 2 months now. I'm struggling. It's a struggle bus to get through that one. Because it's just... It's hard to explain what's happening at Furthermore. I'm reading 2 books by Simone St. James. Because one of them I'm going to read for a book club that I'd like to participate in, which is The Broken Girls. And I'm reading The Sundown Motel. Yep. And then currently I'm reading The Hero of Ages for a project thing. So, yay. Okay, so that's what's happening. Also, I'm reading my arc. My arc for right now is currently a book called Fanfiction by Brian Spinner. He was in Star Trek. The Next Generation. Data, I think what's his name. So, I'm really enjoying that. That's what I'm currently reading. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really liked my wrap up. I feel so good about this. This video has been long, and I apologize for that. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. If you've read any of these books, probably haven't unless you got an archive, or it's beloved. Or you've actually read it since it came out, because a few of them have actually come out by now. I thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Go be a good cabbage today. Go do something nice for somebody. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.